Hey YouTubers, this is Mo Vaughn coming to you from Northeast Ohio. I'm making running boards for my little mini Jeep, and this is the pattern. So I just took a piece of cardboard and stuck it underneath and held it up against the edge about 4 inches out where I thought I would need it from the edge of the outside of the Jeep. And then I had to get it, crawl underneath there where I was holding it. I actually used clamps to hold it on, a couple clamps, one on each end. And I ended up tracing around the frame, so you can see where the frame goes across, where those two little stubs are, and about 2/3 of the way up the frame it angles in. So this would be like the left side of the Jeep, the driver's side, and the left over by the radiator there would be the front, and over by the Makita right angle drill would be the back side. Now let me bring you around to the Jeep. I don't know if you can see that very good, but that is the running board, and all I used was Harbor Freight had these little floor mats, comfort mats for your feet, put in front of your workbench. And I just took one of those, and I just took my pattern, that pattern, and cut the wood, and then I laid the wood on here and just cut it out with an X-Acto knife. And then I glued it on there with contact cement, and I left it on overnight with weights on top of it just to hold it down, make sure it was solid. And then I went around and just sanded it around the edge of it just to get rid of the little rough spots from the cuttings. So now I'm getting ready to install that, but I'm just onto the frame, and I'm only my holes obviously are only a 1/2 inch in from the edge of the board. So here's what I found that I'm going to use is these little rectangular metal channels. Now these metal channels were off of my crate, the metal crate that the Jeep came on. So I made 2 of them about 6.5 inches, or 4 of them 6.5 inches long. And it's about a 3/8 bolt that I'm going up through there. And what I did was to install those running boards, I held them up. Actually, I put C-clamps on there. I clamped them on, and then I just marked my holes by taking a little drill, about the size of the holes I had, and drilling up through that center of the frame. So the frame's about an inch, maybe 1 1/8 inches. So I kind of just marked those holes about a 1/2 inch in, and you can see where the holes are. And I just used those as my pilot guides, and I drilled up through those to get them started. Then I went back and increasingly went with a different, larger bit to make the size I needed. And then one a little bit undersized, and then I bought a tie and dap set and tapped them to M8s. I think they're M8s, and I think they're like 1.25s. But anyhow, I just tapped them up, and then that's what's holding my running boards on right now. And then I'll get down here and show you what's going on here. So I've got 6 holes under there. Let me get down here, out of the way. There we go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, okay. So I've got 6 holes. I didn't drill that one out because it's close to the edge of the frame. So I'll use that one, and I'll put one of these up like that. And that'll help support that running board. So I'll have one. I won't put one there. I'll put one here towards the middle, like that. And then I won't put one here, and then I'll put one up here in the front. And I got 2 longer ones for the front because the board actually is almost twice the, well, not twice, about a 1/3 more width there. So instead of making them 6.5, I made them about 8.5. So I have 2 short ones. So let me get that on there. And I have 1 longer one for each side. You can see how that goes. We'll put them up against there, like that, and then you can see the difference in the size of them right there. So the one on the right is the 8.5, and it'll go right up here on that bolt there, and it'll stick out about 1 inch from the edge, of the running board. So that's the game plan, but I've got to go get longer bolts down at the hardware store, local hardware store. So that's where I'm off to now, and we'll bolt that on. And then we're going to have to do something with the front up here. And I did get some just mud shields. So I was thinking about putting some mud shields up here and maybe getting them down to the bottom like that and then curving them up like that. And that would be a pretty good mud shield for keeping all that mud off me and off the mirrors too. So we'll come back to that one later after I get these installed, and we'll show you what's going on. Sorry I'm so jerky. I'm not used to doing movies or videos. So I'll try not to jerk the camera around too much and get you nauseous. But anyhow, those are my running boards. And like I said, this top layer was just from Harbor Freight. I think I paid $10 for it. I got a 2 by 4 foot, I think it was, pine board at Home Depot for $10. And I made both running boards with that pattern for $10 worth of wood at Home Depot. I think it was a 2 foot wide, 4 foot long. And it wasn't plywood, it was actually pine laminated together. And then of course I just used the running board, the wood boards to cut out the pattern for the rubber on top. So, and then I don't know if you can see it, but I also put rubber in here. And I think I'm going to put, that's like an 1/8 inch thick. I think I'm going to put this 1/4 inch like I have on the running board, just so it matches up on the pattern, because it is a little different pattern. I'm doing that just to try to keep some of the noise and isolate the vibrations that way, so they don't come up through the floor so much. All right, that's it for today, and I'll get back to you when I've got it completed. All right, take care.